Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. If this is your first time watching me, welcome to my beauty entertainment channel. Yeah, I do like beauty stuff sometimes, but I do like a lot of it's mostly entertainment, but there's a little like sprinkle of beauty in there, and today we're gonna be sprinkling more beauty in there. So that's one. Two, if you would like to follow me on social media, here is my Twitter and here's my Instagram. Have fun with those two. Yup. And you should check out some of my recent videos that I've posted. Yesterday I posted a video talking about what new artists I think are having the best come-ups of the, like, if that makes sense, the best come-outs and the best come-ups and roll-outs. Currently, I also posted a video talking about the consequences of being a super visible brand owner. I posted a video talking about Normani's team and stuff like that. So if you'd like to check those out, they're probably somewhere, I don't know, like down below or like in your recommended or something, hopefully, if YouTube likes me. So as you can tell by the title of today's video, we are going to be talking about how Fenty Beauty changed the beauty industry. So I did a video. What did I do a video on? I did a video talking about celebrity beauty brands, and I was talking about how Fenty Beauty is a blueprint, and I asked, I was like, would anyone want to see a video about like how Fenty Beauty, how I think Fenty Beauty actually changed and shifted the beauty community? And people were like, yeah, so I'm gonna make it. And I was gonna make it anyway, but so we're doing it now. So we're gonna take a little time travel machine. We're gonna go back in time to 2017, which feels like it was 10 years ago, but it was only 3, whatever. So we were all just, you know, perusing our days as usual. I was a freshman in college. Yeah, when this came out, I was a freshman in college. You know, my life was going as regular. I was doing what I was doing, and then we all got some glorious news, some absolutely incredible news that was going to shape the next 3 years, because it's 2020 now. Yeah, 3 years. We were blessed with the information that Miss Rihanna was going to be coming out with an entire makeup line. Not a collab, not a collection, an entire makeup line. I want you to think back. I'm not sure if I thought Fenty Beauty was going to be like what it is. I had hoped that it would be, but I'm not sure, because I'll talk about this later. It was kind of the first of its kind. So back at this time, I want you to think back. Celebrity beauty brands were kind of like unheard of. Like, it's crazy how times have changed so much in 3 years because everyone's trying to copy one brand and one person. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Everyone's trying to copy one brand and one person. So I can start here with that as how Fenty Beauty changed the beauty industry. Celebrity backed products aren't a new thing, but we've gotten them mostly like perfumes, clothing lines, and commercials. A celebrity will endorse a product. We haven't been, like, until this, we hadn't been seeing celebrities like starting full on like brand new makeup companies. We hadn't really said that before. I think did Kylie do her lip kits? It was either at the same time or right before, but like that was probably the only other one at the time. And that's why in my celebrity beauty brands video, I talked about Kylie, and I was like, her making her own company was actually making sense because she was selling out MAC lipsticks like hotcakes. So like the next plausible step would be to make your own. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. So what Rihanna did with Fenty Beauty is get everyone's attention to like the booming beauty community. What Rihanna did with that is she was able to, because celebrities have been doing like clothing lines, all that stuff for a long time. What she was able to do is shift the focus to the new thing, which is makeup, because makeup is big. Makeup is big, and makeup is large. Makeup is a big deal. This is a billion-dollar industry. So I don't know why I was confused. So she, by doing that, made everyone start paying attention to how big makeup was, and that's when we started to get the influx of celebrity beauty brands. So Fenty came at, I think, of like a very, very good time for itself. It came just a year after the significant, like the big boom of the beauty community, which happened in 2016. I can make a whole video talking about how the beauty community started and how it's like changed and where it's going right now. I can make a whole video on that. That's a different conversation, but that's besides the point. Rihanna and Fenty Beauty were basically the first Rihanna was the first celebrity to capitalize off of how profitable makeup really is. Like one of the first, obviously not the first, but one of the first who actually capitalized on how profitable makeup actually is. And because they were one of the first, it could have gone in one of two directions. It could have gone very, very poorly. This could have not gone well at all. Or it could have gone how it went. Very, very well. Fenty Beauty is one of the most successful brands currently on the market as we speak. Okay, so thank God it went the right way, because what we're seeing now with, you know, the rise of celebrity beauty brands, a lot of them are not going in the right direction. A lot of them are not anywhere near, they're not doing as well as I thought they would be doing. And I have a whole video talking about that and talking about why they're not doing as well as they're doing. Here's a hint: they don't have the creative vision. Like, they just want to make money. And it's like, yes, make money, but maybe you could have a passion in it. Maybe you could have some sort of creative intelligence behind it. I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know. So, and in that video, Selenators, that's a really stupid name if that's her name. They tried to get me up out of here for making that video just because I mentioned Selena Gomez's new beauty brand in it. And I'll say again, I was a directioner. We reinvented stan culture. You're not gonna win. You're not gonna win in a stan game. You're not gonna win. Anyway, so let's start with a timeline of Fenty Beauty, because this, as we go through the timeline, like at every point there's a point where where it causes an immediate shift in the beauty community. You'll see in a second. So let's start in 2017 and we're gonna start with the products because, you know, they speak for themselves. So in September of 2017, Fenty Beauty launched, this is not concealer, Fenty Beauty launched its first products. So unlike a lot of other celebrity-owned brands and basically like famous people-run brands, instead of just coming out and starting with one product, Rihanna came out and started with like, I think like 5 or 7. Not just like 7, it might have been just 5. She came out and she came out with a banger. That's what made me look at it and be like, okay, she's starting a makeup brand. She's not just doing a little collection here or there. Because if you're looking at most celebrity brands now, they start off with one product. The product does okay because it's an okay product, and then they try to come out with more stuff. Fenty Beauty, they've been seeming to do this for the whole time. They are never just releasing like one product. They like to release, I think the number is 3 or 4 at a time is something that I've been noticing with them. And I think it's a good number. It's not too many. It's not like they're doing whole collections a la ColourPop. They're not doing that every couple of weeks, but they're not releasing products like once a year. It's a good mix. So the first products that Fenty Beauty came out with were the matchsticks, which I'm literally about to use right now, some brushes, the original Fenty Glow Gloss Bomb, the original face primer, the Invisible, that pressed powder, that translucent pressed powder, the Killawatt highlighters, and of course the famous foundation. So we already know how the foundation changed the beauty industry. I'll get into that more later, but let's talk about some of the other products. The product I'm actually using right now, what perfect timing. The matchstick, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated Fenty Beauty products I've ever seen. The shimmer ones they're okay. Honestly, they're not like anything crazy, but these matte ones, that's what I want to talk about. This Fenty Beauty matchstick in espresso is the first ever contour product that has gone dark enough to contour me. Before using this, I would use like darker foundations to contour because there had never been any advertised contour product dark enough to actually create any sort of shadow and depth on my skin. This is the very first one. So I was literally over the moon when I saw it. And I think it's also a really good product. So it was so nice for them to like start off super strong with that, with like not just with the shade range that I'll talk about later, but also with like other face products, because brands seem to forget, I'll get into this later, they seem to forget that we also wear other face products as well. So yeah, that's why I really like these matchsticks. I always use them. Just if you're using them, make sure to warm it up on the back of your hand, because if you just go in with like that it's dry, that's why you warm it up on the back of your hand. If you just go within it dry, like it'll blend out eventually, but she'll be sitting there for about like 3 years. That's just all I wanted to say. And now, like yesterday, they just released 2 darker shades than this shade. I'm like, this is what we're talking about. This is constantly listening to your audience, constantly listening to your customers and doing what they want. Wow, what a concept. And then now we're gonna move to the Killawatt highlighter. This is something I wanted to touch on because at this time, so we had just been plagued, the word is plagued, with loose highlighters. Now, not every loose highlighter is bad, in my opinion, like most are, but not all of them are. The LeBron's La Peach combination, oh, I love the LeBron's highlighter. I love the La Peach highlighter, but loose highlighter was a plague. Most of it was absolute, and I think I went on a rant about this before. Loose highlighter is pointless most of the time, unless the color is as good as LeBron's or La Peach, which they're not. It gets everywhere. It creates just literal mess. It's filthy. I can't express my disdain for anything loose. We were right before this in 2016, everyone wanted to make everything loose. Loose highlighters, loose bronzers, loose eyeshadows. All of it was delusion. All of it was things are pressed for a reason. Eyeshadows are pressed for a reason. No need to make them loose. Bronzer also pressed for a reason. I don't know, convenience. I don't know. I don't know. But we were plagued with loose highlighter. The phase wasn't over of loose highlighter, wasn't really over in 2016. We were still stuck in that. I mean, some people still do it now. It's a matter of like how you like your makeup to look. The like super highlighted, like beaming, like you turn and you're like, it's like that. That's kind of what highlighter was in now. The trend now is to not highlight as much, but back then it was like there was no such thing as over highlighting. So what they were able to do is create the same blinding effect that everyone, wanted back then. The same blinding effect that loose highlighters were giving, but they were giving it an entirely new formula. Fenty Beauty's highlighters are like a cream powder hybrid, and I don't know if it's the first of its kind, but it was the first one I'd ever tried. It was the first highlighter I'd ever tried with that particular formula. It was completely unique. It was something funky fresh. It was something completely different, and they changed it. They innovated the game. And now we've started to see a lot more, because if you've never touched a Fenty highlighter, it doesn't feel like a regular highlighter. It feels like much more creamy because it's a cream powder hybrid. And then we started to see a lot more cream powder hybrids coming out from brands, because they started to see how much people really love Fenty's formula. And Fenty's formula was also giving that super blinding effect with none of the mess, with none of the shenanigans of a loose highlighter, thank God. Okay, so that was a great product. And now we're at, the girl. So we're at the foundation. We're gonna be talking about her. So on their first launch, Fenty Beauty launched 40 shades of the Pro Filter Soft Matte Foundation. That's the first foundation they came out with. Where's my brush? Okay. Now, to us now, the 40 shade thing is normalized, and it's like the norm due to this. But back then, almost unheard. The reason I say almost unheard of to release 40 shades is because it pretty much was almost unheard of. There were very few brands. I mean, the thing is though, Fenty Beauty wasn't the first to make 40 shades of their foundation, but they were one of the first to come out with 40 shades off the bat. There are other brands like Makeup Forever, Lancome, NARS that had pretty good shade ranges, but Fenty Beauty was one of the first to come out with that from the jump. Like from the jump, they said, here are 40 shades that you can use, and 40 kind of became this golden number. And out of all the brands I listed, like Makeup Forever, Lancome, MAC, I think Fenty might be the least expensive. Some MAC foundations are cheaper than some of the Fenty ones, but in terms of all, collectively, Fenty is the least expensive out of most of those brands that I named. So, that's another good thing for them. So what Fenty did with releasing these 40 shades of foundation is it incited panic. Incited absolute turmoil and panic from every single brand, even super established brands like Makeup Forever, when they posted that Instagram post talking about we were the first to do the 40 shade thing, I was like, what did you gain? What did you gain from posting that? Now people think you're jealous. Don't do that. Don't do that. So since this time, brands have basically been trying to beat the golden number of 40. Of course, we're seeing there's some genuine brands. There are some brands that are genuinely coming out with a lot of foundation shades because they want to be as inclusive as possible. But just with the brands that are doing well, there are at least 10 others that are not doing that at all. There are at least 10 others who are just releasing shades. They're kind of just like coming out with them. There's no thought, there's nothing being put into them. They're just coming out with these shades that don't work on most people because they're trying to beat the magic number of 40. Like we saw Morphe release 60 Shades of Hell. We saw that get released. They literally, some of those foundations were green. Like I don't think anyone talks about that enough. Some of those foundation shades were like literally green. They were just trying to beat the number. That foundation was, do you see anyone talking about that foundation ever? People posted their reviews and said it was awful, and then we all moved on. Excellent. We saw they were not being genuine with that, because if you're being genuine, there wouldn't be green foundation shades in your so it was 60 shades, I'm pretty sure. Why are they green? Why are they, you know what, Morphe has some issues in and of itself that I could, oh my god, some very serious issues with that brand. But one of them is they're just not genuine. They just don't, I'm like, I would rather you just not care. I would rather you just not care than try to fake it and release piss poor products. I'd rather you just not care. And then we saw this, so that was a negative way it affects the beauty community, but we also saw it affect it in a positive way. We saw a bunch of brands try to, when they were coming out with new foundations, they came out with better shade ranges, or they tried to fix the shade ranges of their existing foundations. Like we got the Too Faced Jackie Aina collab, the foundation collab. After, that was in 2018, they collaborated with a black woman, a black beauty influencer, to expand their foundation line. That's a good thing, I guess. The foundation line was expanded. I don't know why they had to call a whole influencer to do it when they, I don't know, when they could have just, I don't know, like that's a little bit, I understand putting her name on it, but like did they have to call Jackie Aina in to fix their shades? They couldn't do it themselves. That's an issue. That's an issue that they gotta fix, which is why Too Faced has been released. Like Too Faced still has shitty stuff. They don't make any other face products that work for people as dark as me. They don't care. They don't care. They said, here's the foundation. Here you go. That's it. Yeah, no. Then, so brands started picking up the pace of foundation, but just like I said before, they dropped the ball. They always drop the ball with every other complexion category, like concealer, powders, bronzer. If we wear foundation, if dark skin people wear foundation, we wear concealer, powder, and bronzer. Like if you can't have a good shade range here and then have no shade range here. That means you didn't do your job. You didn't do your due diligence. All these brands are like, oh my god, 60 foundation went in, 60 foundation shade, 100 foundation shade. Oh my, look at us. We're so we love black people. And then they have a bronzer that is literally, what color? The color of my concealer. That's their darkest bronzer. If most of them are not, most of them don't even go that dark. Whatever, moving on. So almost all, not all, but almost all of Fenty Beauty's product launches have been hits. Fenty Beauty seems to be one of the only brands that is actually paying attention to like what the consumers are interested in. For example, they heard people talking about wanting more, like at the start of this year and late last year, they talked about people wanting more eye stuff that wasn't palettes. So we got that entire fly liner, like those pencil. We got an entire spectrum of colored pencils. That is something that people have been asking for years. They delivered with that. Fenty Beauty also is able to transition between seasons really well. Like they know their market. They know how to market for each season. season. Like, we got the body lava around Coachella of 2018. Incredible time to market that product. It is very, very expensive for absolutely no reason. It's just like body lava. I own it. You don't need to buy that. Like, no one needs to buy that. It's kind of just a gift. It's just kind of something to have, but no, you don't need to buy that. But they launched it at a really good time. It was Coachella time where I'm going, yeah, it was a good time to launch it, and it worked. And what we got, I mean, they didn't invent body glow. They didn't by any means. So like, I just want to put that out there, but there was a lot of body glow launches right after theirs, and it also could have been due to summer happening, but I do think Fenty Beauty has impact on other brands. I do think Fenty Beauty is able, like, Fenty Beauty to me seems a bit like the blueprint in the makeup community currently. It seems to me like Fenty Beauty is one of the only brands that has an accurate pulse on the beauty community and what consumers want. It seems like they're the only brand that are, I don't know how they're the only brand who's like actively listening. It might be they have a really good social media team, which I'll talk about a little bit more later. They have a really good social media team. That might be why they're so good at listening, because other brands are just kind of releasing products that they want to release, which is great. I mean, it's your company, do whatever you want, but Fenty Beauty seems to be launching products both that they want to launch and also products that the audience wants them to launch. They seem to be doing both, and they're doing it very, very, very well. Because their social media team is so good, like they're always on trend with stuff, that might be the reason why. They might actually be paying attention to people in the beauty community. They might be actually paying attention to what we're talking about, the critiques that we have, the criticisms that we have, which they have been doing in the past. And their social media, so Fenty Beauty, first of all, their social media accounts are the blueprint for every other brand's social media accounts. Ever since Fenty Beauty started doing the whole like trying to be funny with memes and reaction videos and stuff, every other brand has tried to do it, but they failed because they failed because they have probably white interns who literally go on to Urban Dictionary and look up the like African American vernacular English, how to use, and then they're sitting there translating on trying to type on Twitter. It's all very much a no. Something's missing, and it's this. That's what's missing. That's what's missing in social media aspect. You're missing a little bit of color. And also Fenty Beauty seems to have they have a YouTube channel. Their Instagram is run really well. They get takeovers from they give a lot of smaller artists takeovers on their Instagram. Like, they've been doing that for a very long time, and it's not just like the biggest names in beauty. They give it to like I don't know what the tiers are anymore because they keep changing, but I think it's micro influencer if you're under 100K or something. So they keep giving it, they did give it to those people. So that's literally fantastic. And Fenty Beauty has been releasing products at, what I said before, at an appropriate pace. The reason I use appropriate is because we're seeing inappropriate rates of releases. They seem to be doing things, I would call it in a quarter system. Like, it's like every quarter they release like 3 or so products, or like a new, or they're like, here's some new shades of this, here's some new colors of this. They seem to be doing that. And speaking of products, Fenty Beauty is not only they're releasing products for every type of makeup consumer. And you're like, what do you mean by that, by every type of makeup consumer? They seem to be releasing products that both the people like me who like collect makeup, enjoy makeup, do it for fun, post looks on stuff, just doing it for fun. They seem to make products for that group, and for the people who just wear makeup to work, who just want to put the makeup on and leave and go to school or go to work. They are making products for both of those categories, and that's where I feel like a lot of brands miss the mark. They choose to make it for one or the other, and it's like, you need both for your brand to have the same amount of success as Fenty Beauty's having, the constant growth. You got to make it for both. It can't just be for one. I stopped doing my makeup. Blush, okay. And then when they listen, so they're releasing new products, and what I've noticed that some other brands are doing, but not a lot, they're as time is going on, they're releasing new products and products and products. They're not just releasing new products, they're also improving their old products. Like yesterday, they just added 2 more shades of the Matchstick foundation. They add more shades of the highlighter. They did a whole foundation shade range. They expanded the shade range of their foundation. They create minis of different things. They're constantly improving old products, and we're gonna see them continue to improve their old products, I think. They've added new colors to their glosses. Like, you know, they're listening. They're listening. And speaking of listening to the audience, one of the best examples I saw, so that Glossy Posse set they released over Christmas, which is one of the best Christmas sets I've ever seen come from a brand. That was a very good idea. Whoever came up with that idea should absolutely be getting a raise. Should absolutely be getting a raise. They released the Glossy Posse. The audience said, we want the hot chocolate lip balm. We want the gloss bomb and hot chocolate, and they delivered within months. Within months, they released the product to gouge people's interest. They saw people's interest, and they said, okay, here's the full-size gloss bomb and hot chocolate. Exactly what we had been asking for. Delivering exactly what we've been. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. And then they released, a hydrating version of their foundation, because a lot of the critiques of the original foundation was that it was too drying. So they released an entire hydrating one. Yep, now we have 2 foundation, see? And they also, something that makes them stand apart, in my opinion, from other brands, is their ability to take constructive criticism really well. Because yeah, I just listed all the good products that Fenty has. Fenty has had some misses. They've had some misses. They had a kilowatt highlighter, I think it was. It's now called Ruby Riches, but the original name was something like tone deaf offensive. It was something ridiculous. It should have never made it past anyone. So they got backlash for it. I finally remember the word. The word is backlash. They got backlash for it, and they immediately apologized. Immediately snatched it off the shelves, and then brought it back a couple months later with a new name. That's exactly what people love. That's exactly what they should have done. Exactly what they should have done. Other brands need to, follow suit. They also had their eyeshadow palette formula criticized with that Moroccan Spice palette. I never bought it because it didn't look appealing to me at all, at all. But I've swatched it in stores. They did improve their eyeshadow formula from that palette to these snap shadows. I have 4 of the snap shadows. They're okay. They're very, very okay. There are much better eyeshadow formulas out there. That's all I have to say. They're very okay. If you don't really care about, if you don't, eyeshadow's not your thing. You just want to put something on. That's what I give them. But it's an upgrade from what it was before. And brands are struggling to keep up. A lot of brands are trying to follow the same formula as them. But here's the thing, Fenty Beauty does it so organically. First of all, when I say Fenty Beauty is a blueprint, whenever Fenty Beauty releases a product, do we not see similar product come out months later? And I think people think by it being months later, they can't be copying, and they're probably not. But since it does take a long time to make a product, I think people are seeing the response that Fenty Beauty gets from releasing certain products, and they're saying, oh, wait, people actually want more than 1 shade of translucent powder? Oh, let me get back in the lab and make 7 shades of translucent powder. I'm guessing they're all using Fenty Beauty as their guide. They're saying, okay, let's have them test the waters, and then we'll make a product like it. Right? We're gonna do the exact same thing instead of just doing it. I don't know. Maybe it's because they don't want to I hate when people are they probably just don't want to take the risk, because I'm in most cases the risk is being inclusive. I'm not understanding the disconnect. Why is being inclusive a risk? Why is that something that it's always people are well, they don't want to make Fenty Beauty's bronzer isn't that dark either, but they need to increase, if they're, since we're expanding shades, they can expand that shade range as well. With all with that stuff, they're always like, well, dark skin people aren't gonna buy it, that they're taking a risk because dark skin people aren't gonna buy it. Fenty Beauty literally proved, it was clear as day that dark skin people buy makeup, because from shades 460 to down was so, I think even my shade 450 was maybe, I don't know, 460 and down of that foundation were sold out for months following the launch. 4 months following the launch. Dark skinned people buy makeup. We buy a lot of makeup, and if you give it to us, it will be I don't understand. I don't understand where that disconnect comes from. Whatever. So I love the thing that this brand is doing. They make some of my favorite products ever. Like, I love what they're doing, but I'm gonna give them some ideas if you want to take them. I think they're doing a great job. I mean, it's Rihanna, so she's gonna do a great job. So yeah, I think they're doing a great job, but I would like to see some new shades of that bronzer, because this range is let's you know, let's pick up the heat. Let's put our foot on these brands' necks once again, because we just did it with increasing the shade range of that Matchstick. Let's press down a little bit harder. Let's bronzer shade range. Also, I want blushes from Fenty. I feel like, wow, they did that cream to powder, but in blush, are you seeing reds, pink, bright orange, deep burgundy? Are we seeing the vision? Yup. Let's do that. Let's really do that. I don't know if I want them to keep it in the same white packaging as the highlighter, but I'd be fine with them. Anything, just release a blush. Just release a blush. I would love that. Also, I would like some more colors of the Fenty Beauty highlighters, because the golds that they do have are a little light for me. I don't really like to wear super light gold and what's like on top of another already darker highlighter. So maybe some new ones. Maybe some new ones. That would be great. I mean, it's all a girl can ask for. So yeah, that's pretty much how I think Fenty Beauty has changed the beauty industry, kind of by putting their foot on these brands' necks, because now every single launch they have, they're being compared to Fenty Beauty. Like, every single time someone launches anything related to skin, it's always being compared to Fenty Beauty. Every single time, without fail. Even though they're not the first to like have an inclusive shade range, but with that 40 shades, with coming out the ballpark with 40 shades, set a blueprint. And then their concealer came out with 50 shades with the shade increase, and now you have 50 shades of foundation, 50 shades of concealer, which is never ever seen. 50 shades of concealer. There's usually 12. There's usually 12, max 12. Then releasing, is it 8 shades of their setting powder? Bar is increasing, and everyone wants a crumb. Everyone wants a piece. Every celebrity wants to start a beauty brand now. They want a dashling of what Rihanna has. They don't have the vision. You don't have the creative vision, so you're not gonna get a crumb. You're not gonna get anything. You're not gonna get a chip. You're not getting anything because you don't have the vision. You don't have the creative intelligence. You don't have it. Brands are trying to follow, trying to copy. You can't copy. You can't copy if you're, if in the office you can't. I said this before, you can't be an inclusive brand if your office, if your corporate headquarters, people actually making the product, if that space isn't inclusive. And throwing one black person in there, no. And that's why I question when brands like bring on a black influencer to like fix their skin products. I'm like, is that the only black person you know? Are there not black people working for your company? Whatever. They're not black people working for your. Why did you need to bring out an outside black person? I don't know. Do what you want. But that's a little questionable to me. So yeah, these hoes, they copy every word, every inch. That's the summary of this. That's a summary of this. Okay, yeah, that's the end of this video. So yeah, Fenty Beauty, great brand. This was like a more positive, like they did more positive things for the beauty community. I want to make another video talking about Morphe, like how Morphe changed the beauty community, because I wow, like there's a lot in that. And then I also want to do like how ColourPop changed beauty community, because I think those both supposed to be a little bit more negative. But yeah, let me know if you'd be interested in that, because I actually had like, tangent, I planned this video at like 3 a.m. today because I just woke up. My body just woke me up and tortured me for eating an entire chocolate bar before going to bed. I woke this up, and then I woke up and did this, and then I started doing a Morphe one, and I'm like, okay, it's very interesting to look at how brands themselves have created these shifts and created these changes. Like there are some things that wouldn't exist. Like if Fenty Beauty didn't release the 40 shades from the start, where would we be now? Would we still, I mean, we're still begging for, not begging, asking, demanding inclusivity for brands, or you're not getting our coin, period. It's very interesting. Where would we be without Fenty? That's a thought. So yeah, that's the end of this video, even though I just went on a whole tangent for like 2 minutes. So yeah, that's the end of this video. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think, how you think Fenty Beauty perhaps changed the beauty industry. If you think any other brands changed beauty industry, there are a couple others as well. So yeah, let me know down in the comments. You can talk about whatever you want. I don't know. You can answer that question, you cannot. I don't care. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to follow me on social media, here's my Twitter and my Instagram again. And then check out some of my recent videos. They should be on the screen now or in your recommended, which is next. If YouTube agrees with me today, it won't. But if it does agree with me today, it'll be over there. So yeah, thank you guys so very much for watching and for all the support. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.